You know, you have proven in other situations. I don't know if you saw that episode when we were talking about. We were trying to jumpstart his car as far as like push starting it.
No,
he didn't know how to do it. I was like, I'm gonna push your car, and I need you to pop the clutch. And I yelled, "Pop the clutch!" And he's like, he did nothing. I'm like, what is up with this guy?
So did you hammer him about it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so what's the age difference between you? So what generation are you?
I'm Generation X.
Okay, so am I. And you are a millennial?
Like what year I was born, or like physically inside, what am I? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you're probably, like most of us, you're probably a juvenile. But I mean,
I guess I'm technically a millennial. Again.
Okay, so let me stop you there, because that kind of goes back to the motivating people in different ways.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you mentioned that your battery died and you're trying to jumpstart, pop the clutch.
Yeah.
And who knows how to do that anymore?
This
right. So, and is it
common for me?
But did you give him for it? Can I say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Did you give him for it?
Bleep.
Absolutely.
Please bleep that. I like.
No, absolutely. I give him.
Okay. So, but that's right. When we're friends with each other, we give each other a hard time, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes that can create some animosity, right? Where it's like, hey man, I don't know how to do it, right? And because he's never been shown.
It's true. And
I grew up in a household where, we had a Phillips and a standard screwdriver and an MJB can with various nuts and bolts and some screws and a couple nails in it. And that was it. My dad was a football coach. He was the son of a firefighter. I mean, his dad was a firefighter. And he had every tool under the sun. My dad had no interest in it. So consequently, when I was growing up, I could tell you how to read zone versus man. I could tell you different coverages. I could tell you all that stuff, what they're doing, what look they're giving you at the line of scrimmage. But when I got hired as a firefighter, go get the toolbox and get me this. You're like, right? And the old guys would give you a hard time. What do you mean you don't know this? And, you'd say, well, that wasn't the household that I grew up in. And I grew up knowing this. Well, what good's that going to do you? Well, it actually does do me some good. The things that I learned on the football field and in the locker room did do me some good. Am I too dumb to learn, the tools and learn how to use them? No, I can do that. But take the time and show me. Don't just say, "Figure it out, rookie." That's the whole mentoring thing, and that's where. And I'm sure that, and I'm not saying that he's scarred for life because you gave him a hard time about the car thing, but
kind of.
But that's really where we are right now as a society. I mean, we really have a group of people that are in a position where they're going to need to be in leadership spots. And we need to make sure that we're teaching them everything that we know, because Generation X, like you and me, we're on our way out. We don't have that much time left on the job.
Oh, yeah.
And so our population group is about, 25% smaller than the baby boomers. So when we come in, there's not enough of us to fill the leadership spots that are vacated by the boomers. And then the millennials are about the same size as the baby boomers. So we're a smaller population group. So, I go around the country and I look around, and I was just in Florida, where the chief of this department that has 9 stations now, they're projecting building stations 10, 11, and 12, hiring a bunch of people. The fire chief's 35 years old.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
That's where we are. And so now is he a guy that's extremely capable? Sure. I mean, master's degree, blah, blah, blah stuff. But, they're very young, and it takes being able to put your ego aside on both sides as old guys,
sure,
which we are, and young guys who, we think we know everything. They think they know everything. We have to be able to put those things aside, because I know how old are you?
30.
Okay. So when I was between 30 and 35, or 26 and 36 probably, I knew everything, right? And so now, as you get a little bit older, you kind of, as I'm approaching the twilight of my career, you start to slow down a little bit, and you kind of, you want to pass on what you've learned and say, hey, dude, slow down. Passion's awesome. And, and I know you got a lot to offer, but let's work together on this. And so our job is to pass that knowledge forward and say, hey, don't burn out, don't flame out, because you see tons of people in the fire service that are super excited and passionate about what they do. Well, that's great that you're passionate. What are you going to do with it? And they flame out because we want to fix it right now. So anyway, I guess my point with that whole thing was, it's incumbent upon us to teach them those things.